Hello, Sloan. Educated at Eton and Oxford, Valentine Fleming was gifted, handsome, athletic, absurdly well-bred. He rode in the elite Eton 8 and later for Oxford, gliding through life as if it were a regatta he was destined to win. He married less than 2 years after graduation to Eve Beatrice St. Croix Rose, a celebrated society beauty with a name to match. Their wedding glittered with all the high Edwardian trimmings. The groom was gifted £250,000 by his father Robert, proof that even sentiment could be handled like a financial transaction. Eve was everything her name promised, frivolous, elegant, vain, and utterly captivating. She dressed like a heroine from a wild play, jewel-toned gowns, outrageous hats, and the kind of theatrical flair that mortified her sons and enthralled London. The Flemings had 4 children in rapid succession. First Peter, then Ian, a good Scots name and annoyingly a complicated inheritance. Val trained briefly as a barrister, but was far too charming, far too restless for the courtroom. At 27, he entered Parliament. He was gracious, athletic, well-liked, impeccably connected. Winston Churchill was a friend, a weekend guest, and later, the man who would immortalize him in print. Val was every inch the English gentleman, cricket whites, hunting pinks, a rifle balanced just so. He rode superbly, shot brilliantly, and looked devastating doing either. The sort of man other men admired and women noticed from across the lawn. When war came in 1914, Valentine didn't hesitate. He joined the Queen's own Oxfordshire Hussars, an elite volunteer cavalry drawn almost entirely from landed gentry and aristocracy. Their officers were men of title, wealth, and breeding, but they fought and died alongside ordinary soldiers. Val led from the front with the same effortless grace he brought to the drawing room. He was mentioned in dispatches for his bravery, one of those rare men whose courage lived up to his charm. On May 20th, 1917, he was killed in action, fighting on the Western Front. He was just 35. Churchill wrote the obituary, an elegant, aching tribute Ian kept framed by his bed for the rest of his life. Churchill's obituary in the Times described him as one of the brightest, bravest spirits of our time. Robert Fleming, who showed emotion so infrequently, could never speak of Val without breaking down. Eve shattered turned grief into architecture. She painted every room in the house black, even the bathroom. Yet in her widowhood, she discovered her true power, control. Valentine's will ensured it. His fortune, worth the equivalent of £27 million today, came with conditions worthy of a bond plot. Eve received full payout only if she remained single. She could, if she wished, disinherit her children. Even from beyond the grave, Valentine stayed in command. Eve never remarried. Instead, she ruled. Guilt and emotional blackmail were her chosen weapons. She told her sons their father sent her messages from the beyond, ghostly injunctions condemning their behavior. She taught Ian to pray nightly, "Make me more like Father." He was 8 years old when Valentine died. frozen between duty and defiance, glamour and loss. That tension, glamour and melancholy would echo through Ian's life and writing. It's no accident that James Bond is both stoic and wounded, charming, yet emotionally sealed off. The fingerprints of Valentine and the scars of his absence are all over his son's most famous creation. Join me for the next episode of Hello Slam as I introduce Ian's brother, Peter Fleming, the man Ian couldn't outshine until he did.